All right, today I want to talk about the difference between branding and direct response marketing. And then after that, I'm going to talk to you guys about a fight that Gary Vee and I had on stage about this exact same topic.
The world I now live in, these big agencies, they're 100% art. They have no respect to sales.
These are the pieces that we have used to turn ClickFunnels what it is today.
I literally feel like leaving. Thank you.
So, what is branding? Most people know what branding is. Branding is you create a brand and an image, and you put it out there, and hopefully your company grows because you got a really cool brand. The opposite side is direct response marketing. That sounds kind of nerdy and weird. What is direct response marketing? Well, direct response is I'm gonna put something out into the marketplace and try to get somebody to immediately respond back. Now, Gary Vee is probably the king of branding online, and I believe I am the king of direct response marketing online, and so we have kind of two different directions. And so a little while ago, we were running an event for ClickFunnels. And ClickFunnels was about to pass 50,000 active members. We just hired the Harmon brothers to build us a viral video.
I like to paint nudes. Squirrels, that is. Fancy folk buy them right up. Don't ask me why, I just paint them.
If you don't know who the Harmon brothers are, they're the ones who did Squatty Potty, Poopery, and all the viral videos you kind of know online. We hired them, paid them a fortune to build this video that we're gonna launch and hopefully get branding and direct response. And I thought if we're doing this big event, we should talk about these two different principles. And so we hired Gary Vaynerchuk to come and be one of our keynotes.
With that said, everybody, let's stand up and put our hands together for Gary Vaynerchuk.
Thank you so much. You know what's interesting? I was sitting there and listening.
During the event, I spoke about how we built ClickFunnels from zero to over $100 million in sales using direct response marketing. And then Gary got up and talked about how he had built his companies using branding. The way that Gary kind of positioned online, he said that what Russell's doing is all about science and what he was doing is all about art.
And so I'm spending an ungodly amount of time on everything that isn't the math. It's incredible that we now live in a world where the people that are building great companies in this and they do great and they make a lot of money, they deserve it because they take things that we don't have to worry about out of the equation. And the fact of the matter is math will always be that one. The things that aren't are the art, the creativity, and most importantly, the intuition and then the audacity to leave money on the table every single day of your life to invest in the world that you think is gonna be there in 24 months, and then you have to be right, otherwise you lose.
And you could tell by the way that he kind of presented it that what he thought what I was doing was kind of lesser class, and he thought that the branding was more important. And you can tell from what I thought the branding was way less important and the direct response was more important. So the question is, who won? Well, I'm not gonna lie, it caused kind of a fight between me and Gary. I don't think I had talked to him for a couple years since then. And so there's little animosity. He's built his brands, I built my brands through different means. Both have definitely worked, but I'm not gonna lie, was not a huge Gary Vee fan after this presentation, but I saw him again about a week and a half ago at the live event. We saw backstage, we kissed and made up, and I'm a Gary Vee fan once again. So Gary, welcome back. We're gonna get you into direct response marketing soon enough, but until I convince you, I'm gonna try to convince everybody else. So branding is great. We know we love it. The problem with branding, there's a couple things. Number one is that when you're trying to create a brand, you're using social media, you are literally left to the whims of the algorithm, which as you know, changes, it comes and goes. For years when I was building my business, I was focusing on doing SEO and building things through Google Organic, and guess what happened? Overnight, everything shifted. The algorithm changed and I lost all my traffic, all my rankings, and they were gone. And you may be thinking, well, Russell, that's SEO. This is different. This is branding. But the exact same thing happens every single day in social media, right? When I first got into Facebook, I was like, Facebook's the greatest thing in the world. I'm gonna build a big brand there. I built a following, almost 1 million people on Facebook, and guess what? Last week, I went live on Facebook, went to Facebook Live to my 1 million fans, and only 50 people showed up. Is that crazy? Because the algorithm shifted and all the work I did disappeared overnight. I see it on Instagram where people get millions of followers and they say something, they get canceled, the algorithm shifts them out, and that fast their business is gone. All the branding, all the equity, everything you put in is at the whims of the algorithms of other companies, which is kind of scary. With direct response marketing, you can control your own destiny. This is the power of it. I can literally go and I can turn on an ad and get somebody to come to me, whether they like me or they not. Whether the algorithm thinks I'm cool or not, I can pay for that person and get them to come to me and come into my world. And so that's interesting, branding and direct response marketing. Now, I'm a big direct response guy because my first mentor was a guy named Dan Kennedy, and Dan Kennedy's written a ton of books. One of my favorite books is the book right here called The No BS Direct Marketing Ultimate No Holds Barred Kick. It's a really long title, way too long. I just call it the No BS Direct Marketing book because it's really good. And in here, he's got 10 commandments of direct response marketing. And they're all really, really good, but there's one that's the most important I want to share with you. It's rule number 5. And rule number 5 is this. He says, whatever brand building occurs will be a happy byproduct. It will not be bought. Okay, that means you do not spend money to build your brand. But if you build your brand as a byproduct of direct response marketing, that's great. Now, a good example of this is ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is my business, is my brand. I've been running for the last decade. Okay, but we do not buy ads driving people just to go to ClickFunnels. Instead, what we do is we create really good offers. We buy ads that drive people to those offers. They buy our product or our service, and then after that, they learn about ClickFunnels and the brand. This will help you to get your first business off the ground and having success as quick as humanly possible. What I found doing this now for almost 2 decades is that the very first thing I put out there, the brand doesn't actually help you at all. In fact, initially the brand hurts. When we have a landing page we're buying ads to, if there's a logo and a picture and a story about you and your company, it actually hurts conversion rates. So most of our landing pages are kind of blind. There's that offer, there's a headline, there's the reason that somebody would respond. We send someone there, they give us their email address, so they buy a product or something. Then they come into our world, and at that point we introduce them to us and to our brand. Okay, because the very first interaction is not about you. Okay, the first question in someone's mind is, what's in it for me? WIIFM. And so what's in it for them is not you or your brand. The first thing that's in it for them is the offer you're making them. So most of our landing pages that are going to cold traffic are all about what's in it for them. A hook and a headline that's about them, that's gonna get them excited and give them a result. Then they come into our world, and at that point we introduce them to me and to our brand and to our story, and then it builds a connection. So we use direct response marketing to make the first sell, and we use branding to make the second sell. Does that make sense? And so even though I make fun of brand, I do believe in brand. Brand is important, but not on the front end. Brand is the second thing you do. Direct response marketing brings somebody into your world based on a benefit for them, and then branding is what builds a connection with you to get them to buy from you over and over and over again. Now, the first time you get somebody into your world is the most expensive. It's the hardest thing to do. But the second time they buy from you is the cheapest. It's the best. Because of that, I am a believer in branding, but only when used in conjunction with direct response marketing. So we use direct response to get people into our world, and we use branding to keep them in our world. So a few things now. The first thing I want you to understand is that as you are trying to create your brand and your company, the first question you should be asking yourself is, what's in it for them? What's the hook or the message or the offer you can put out that'll get somebody to come to you, but it's very focused on them, not on you. And the second step is, now they're in your world, how do you build that connection and build that brand relationship with them? Now, I understand that by watching this video, some of you guys are going to completely disagree with me. You're going to side with Gary and think that Gary's right, and I totally understand that, but some of you guys understand the truth. And so I'm curious, which side do you lean on? Are you more of like leading with branding or leading with direct response? Where do you fit? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to engage in this battle together down in the comments, because I know that it's controversial. In fact, I've had debates on stage with multiple people about branding versus direct response and what's better and what's more important. And again, the reality, my belief is you need both, but you lead with direct response and then you build long-term with the brand. So what is your opinion? I want to know. I want to debate this down in the comments down below. Maybe when you guys have changed my mind, maybe I'll turn off all my ads and just start buying ads to my logo. But until then, I need you guys to tell me your beliefs and your reasons down below. On top of that, if you haven't read about direct response or you don't know about it, this is one of the best books to begin with. Again, from Dan Kennedy, it's called The No BS Guide to Direct Marketing. In here, it gives you the 10 commandments to direct response. All of them are amazing. They'll teach you exactly how to put a message in the marketplace to get your dream customers to come to you, and you can build a brand with them long-term and strengthen that relationship over time. So that said, make sure you copy this book, read it, because readers are leaders. I appreciate you listening to this video. And if you're enjoying this, please come back. I got some really cool videos coming out in the near future. Every week we're dropping new videos to help you to grow your business, grow your brand, and change the lives of the customers that you've been called to serve.